All right, everyone. So we're going to be watching this video from The Masked Man. Now, we've never reacted to his content before, but this was requested of me. A video called I Was Wrong About Naruto. Now, I don't know what exactly he's referring to. I don't know if he thought the series was good, but then realized it was bad, or he thought the series was bad and then realized it was good. I don't know. We're going to go ahead and watch the video and we'll see what he means by I was wrong about Naruto. Now, we've never, reacted to the Masked Man and, his content before. So I don't know whether he's okay with people reacting to his content. I mean, I've never seen anyone do reactions to his content. I've seen people react to, other YouTubers' content, but I've never seen anyone react to his. So, again, I don't know whether he's okay with it or not. If by some chance he's watching this video, if you want me to take it down, just let me know in the comments. If you're not okay with it, then hey, no problem. Absolutely respect that. Just let me know in the comments that you're not really okay with people reacting to your content. So if you let me know, I will take down the video. So with that being said, let's go ahead and watch this. But if you're interested in watching the video for yourself, guys, as always, I will leave a link to it in the description box, and I will leave a link to the Masked Man's channel, so you can head on over there and subscribe to him and go watch his videos. And I will, of course, do that with every content creator that we react to here on this channel. And if you have your own requests, if you have a video out there that you want me to react to and give my comments on, just tell me about it in the not in the description, in the comment section down below. Just tell me the title of the video and the channel where I can find it. Don't try to leave a link to the video, because I think YouTube does this thing where they remove links from comment sections, and I think that they do that because people have been posting the dangerous links, those kinds of links. So I think they have a new feature. They might have tweaked with the algorithm to make sure that if it sees any links in the comment section, then it just automatically gets removed. So just tell me the title of the video and tell me the channel where I can find it if it's out there, and I will get to it. So let's go ahead and watch this and see again what he means by I was wrong about Naruto.
I might have been wrong about Naruto, and I really want to set the record straight, as I think it's important for a person to admit when they're wrong. Even if it's not entirely, it's inevitable after dozens and dozens of manga reviews and recommendations. I'm not going to get everything right. Like, I'm very well aware of that. So if you watch Anitubers expecting for them to align with every sort of idea that you have, then you're kind of an idiot and you need to grow up. But in what way exactly have I been wrong about Naruto? Recently, I've had a lot of time to think about things and
hold on, I just want to talk about that for a second. Let's just go back.
And with every sort of idea,
right. All right, there we go.
Expecting for them to align with every sort of idea that you expecting for them to align with get everything right. Like, I'm very well aware of that. So if you watch Anitubers expecting for them to align with every sort of idea that you have, then you're kind of an idiot and you need to grow up. But in what way?
Yeah, I do think that that is indeed true. I mean, look, and I think that that's also true for, pretty much everyone that you watch on, whether it's on YouTube or on Twitch or whatever other platforms out there. You can't expect for them to basically have the exact same opinion that you do. Now, maybe they do share a lot of your opinions on things, but that doesn't mean they're going to share your opinion on everything. Like, for example, you guys may agree with me on, let's say, my opinions about Naruto. I for example think it's actually a very well written series with some flaws. Obviously it's not perfect. I think I've gone on record talking about how most of my problems come from the very ending of the series. I think that there's a lot of things that there's a lot of things that Kishimoto did that I am personally just not a fan of. I think I've gone on record multiple times talking about that. Obviously I'm on record being very critical of the Boruto series, and even though I do admit the series is better now than it was before, I still overall am not a fan of the story, and I still think there are some problems. And I know for a fact that there's a lot of people who don't agree with me. I think I even got some comments where there are people who were really not happy about me being critical of Boruto. But again, it's like, look, at the end of the day, I feel like when you watch someone, you want to hear their opinion. You're not really or I mean, maybe there are some people that are out there who are like this, but you're not really looking to just hear them validate your own opinion. You know what I mean? Like, you're just curious to know, okay, I know what I think about this. What does this person think? Like, what does this person that I follow? I'm just curious to know what they think. Like, I'm not going to get upset if they think differently than I do, or let's say they like something that I didn't like or that I still don't like. You know, it's fine. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. You know, nothing bad is going to happen. But yeah, I think that there are definitely people out there who expect content creators to just, you know, just have the same opinion as them, you know, and they don't really like it when they deviate from that in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, it's just wanted to say it. Just wanted to mention that.
Way exactly have I been wrong about Naruto? Recently, I've had a lot of time to think about things and ponder upon previous videos that I've done. I don't really like to go back and watch them because as a YouTuber, you kind of evolve and grow, and your content tries to get better over time. So when you go back and watch those old videos, you really want to delete them. But getting back to the main topic, what did I get wrong about Naruto? And I think that was my interpretation of the focus of the series. Now, in my defense, Dragon Ball, Naruto, and a few other anime and manga that I've seen and read were series that I read and
Record of Ragnarok, which, by the way, if you have not read the manga, highly recommend you go read it. The anime that's on Netflix, I would not recommend it. I did see some of it. I was going to watch it, but then I obviously saw some people talk about it online, and I did see some clips that they have shared, and it's like, admittedly, I don't know if the whole anime is like that. I think I did watch the last episode, which, if I remember correctly, was the fight between I can't remember his name, but it was the guy who fought against Poseidon. I really wish I could remember his name, but yeah, that was one of my favorite fights in the manga, and seeing how it was done in the anime it was really, really disappointing. And of course, you had the Adam versus Zeus fight, which is a lot of people's favorite fight. And the fact that that was done the way it was done was just, man, was it disappointing. And I think season 2 also has another one of my favorite fights, which I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't read the manga or hasn't seen the anime yet, but it includes two very well-known figures. And I just thought the fight in the manga was done so well. And it's not this one, by the way, but I think this I don't know if this happens in season 2, this fight between between these two. Again, I won't say who they are, because I do want you to read the manga. Well, his name I can't really remember, but I do know who this guy is. I do know which deity this is. But yeah, it's just oh man, it's really disappointing. So again, I haven't seen season 2. I really do hope they have improved on the animation, because I think it does include fights that are some of my favorites in the manga, and I really hope it's done justice. Again, maybe I'll check it out. I'm just a little hesitant. But yeah, if you have not read Record of Ragnarok, I do definitely highly recommend it. It's really, really good. Especially if you're a fan of fights. Like, if you're a fan of fights in manga, you're definitely gonna like Record of Ragnarok. So let's go ahead and continue.
And I saw just for the sake of enjoyment, and that should be the reason one kind of consumes any sort of entertainment in the first place. However, the sad reality is ever since I've started my YouTube channel and expanded more and more into what I review, I've slowly but surely sold off my soul and my rights to enjoy an anime and manga and just turn my brain off and have fun with it. Don't get me wrong, I can still enjoy it, just now I have to always be thinking of reasonings for why I like something, don't like it, and slowly but surely I get extremely burnt out. But when it comes to Naruto, I've noticed a recurring lack of appreciation for what the series is truly about, and I myself have been extremely responsible for this narrative, and that is the idea of Naruto, hard work, and Naruto being an underdog. Now let me make this clear. Is Naruto an underdog? Yes, for a certain sector of the story, but that ends pretty quickly. And does Naruto...
Okay, so I think I may know where this video is going. Again, I obviously I'm gonna wait until the video ends before I, when he actually reveals, what his thoughts are. But I think I may know where he's going with this. So I'm guessing he was probably someone who was on the Naruto was never an underdog opinion, and after a while, like went back and probably either reread the manga or rewatched the anime, and came away with a different opinion. I'm guessing that's probably where he's going with this.
Naruto have the theme of hard work? Of course it does. Is that the primary focus of the series? No, it is not. Look, this should be pretty obvious, but again, many times we as Naruto fans do it to ourselves. The fanbase manages to defend characters like Sakura religiously from a day-to-day basis, but yet then allow slander to characters like Obito and Sasuke. Point is, I'm trying to set the record straight, and if you don't somehow believe me, let me take you to the most important and impactful moments throughout the entire series. Naruto versus Gaara. What is the main theme about that? Overcoming hatred. Naruto versus Pain. What is the main theme about that? Naruto versus Obito, Naruto versus Sasuke. Almost Madara's entire character, Tobirama's entire character. The point is when it comes to the most important characters and the most important moments within the entire series, it's a focus on the idea of hatred and how we as individuals deal with said hatred and then proceed to affect others through our own experience. I've had this talk a lot in private with Broken Ronin, longtime friend of mine. Go check out his channel if you haven't, by the way. Amazing stuff. But the reason why I feel like this video needs to be done is, one, so I can set the record straight for myself, but to also really remind people the value of Naruto as a series. It's not entirely just an underdog story. That's not what it's about. Because Naruto, in a very quick amount of time, becomes extremely powerful and is no longer the underdog in terms of the power chain within his own series. So if your main focus is Naruto is an underdog character, and that is his main theme as a character, then you devalue him much more than he should be. Although ironically, when people do get an underdog character who finds a way to be important without the need of physical strength, then, you know, they hate that character too, so whatever. But the point is when the focus on
Oh yeah, this is what was his name? Damn it. What was his name? Takemichi, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he's definitely, I guess you would classify as an underdog because, well, I'm not gonna spoil the story for anyone who hasn't read it, but yeah, he's definitely nowhere near the top of the food chain, at least when it comes to power. Like, there are so many characters who are far stronger than him, and but he does have strengths elsewhere, you know what I mean? Like, he does make up for it in other areas, but you know, strength, physical ability is definitely not one of them. And yeah, a lot of people, damn, like, I mean, a lot of people really really didn't like him. I mean, I thought it was okay. I mean, I get what the author was going for with this character, but you know, after a while, it did kind of get a little bit annoying. It's like, dude, I mean, okay, so I guess slight spoilers for the series, but it's like the dude is mostly known for crying and like talking to his opponents. It's just that you would think that after a while of living in this world where you're, I guess, again, slight spoiler, but he's a part of a gang. But you would think that, you know, knowing the world that you're living in, why would you not try to improve yourself when it comes to your physical ability? You know what I mean? Especially if you know that you're living in a world where you could get into a fight at any moment and you need to defend yourself. Why would you not, you know, learn how to fight? Like, that just never made any sense to me. So yeah, I can understand why a lot of people probably ended up not liking him, and I don't know how this story ends, but apparently a lot of people really did not like the ending. And considering the again, I guess another little bit of a spoiler for the series, but the series includes time travel. So yeah, it's considering it includes time travel and people saying they don't like the ending. Yeah, I feel like I can probably guess what happens. Like, maybe he went back in time and did something that maybe possibly invalidates pretty much everything that happens in this series. That's just my guess as to what might have happened and why so many people are not happy with the ending and why they think the author kind of dropped the ball when it came to the, you know, ending the story. That's just my guess. I could be completely wrong. Let me know in the comments. You know, if you have read the manga, don't spoil it for other people, but you heard my guess right here. Just tell me if I got it right or if I'm way off the mark. Just tell me that. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue with the video.
that character too, so whatever. But the point is when the focus on Naruto as a character becomes not about the underdog narrative, but a character who is able to stand amidst all of the hatred that he has, is incredibly inspiring and beautiful, and I think is more applicable to the world as we continue to move on. Think about every character Naruto parallels. Look at Gaara, look at Pain, look at Sasuke, look at Obito, and look at Naruto himself. These are all characters that have every right in the world to harbor hatred, and to want to release that hatred onto others. However, Naruto takes a different path, and he's able to due to the friendship and the camaraderie that he's built throughout his life, because of the people that he's had around him to keep him sane, people that sadly others didn't have. And although Sasuke did have him, he was too blinded in his vengeance to notice and appreciate those people. Is Naruto a zero to hero story? Of course it is. But the most impactful moments in the series is when Naruto has to become strong in his own convictions. Now, I joked about this with Ronan in his video, but think about the most well-known speech in Naruto, and arguably in anime as well. It's not the cycle of hard work, it's the cycle of hatred. Pain isn't a special antagonist because he pushed Naruto to Sage Mode. Pain is a special antagonist because he pushed Naruto to confront his own ideology. Whether or not Naruto will really be able to bring...
Sorry, I just realized something, and I can't believe I never realized this before. But when it comes to when it comes to what they did here with Pain, I do wonder. I could be completely wrong here, but I do wonder if the anime did this on purpose. Like, look how the his cloak is covering his mouth. And basically, like, the entire time Pain's talking here, it's basically just a still image. And you don't see his mouth moving because, I think, if I remember correctly, he is talking to Naruto here. But you don't see his mouth moving because obviously it's being covered by the cloak. I wonder if they did that on purpose just to sort of make it easier for them. You know what I mean? Because, sometimes, animators will have to do certain things to make it easier for them. Like, let's say they're adapting a comic, but the comic has like a kind of a more detailed art style. So when it comes to the animated adaptation, they'll simplify a lot of those details to make it easier for them to animate. Like, animators will sometimes do this thing where it's it just makes their job a little bit easier. Not that their job is easy, I'm not saying that, please don't get that twisted, but just to make it easier for them to do their job. And then you move on, obviously, and you get to this one right here, and his mouth is still covered, and it is still technically a still image. So yeah, just it feels like these little shortcuts that you notice, that you didn't really notice before, because when you look into how animation is done, and like you take a look behind the scenes, you start to, like, when you go back to watch some of your favorite animated shows, you start to notice things that you didn't really notice before the first time you watched them. It's kind of like how like when you grow up and you look into how movies are made, you don't really watch movies the same way you did before. Like, you start to notice things here and there. You actually start to notice that, that's a set behind the characters. Oh, they you notice the way they position the camera and the lighting and everything. Like, you don't watch movies the same way you did before, like before you started to learn about how these things are actually made. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with food, it's the same thing with video games, the same thing with comics. Like, if you have something that you really like an art form that you really like, and you look into how it's actually made, you don't consume them the same way you did before. You don't read a comic the same way you did before, because you start to look for little things here and there. Like, are there any mistakes with the line work and everything? Same thing with animation. Like, you start to look at like these little tips and tricks that sometimes animators will do to help save them time. Like, for example, what's done here. It's always really interesting for me whenever I go back and I watch something, and you notice something that you don't really notice before. And it's not even just when you know how the thing is made. Like, let's say, for example, like when you grow up and you have different life experiences, and you go back and you watch something, and then when you see it with this new lens that you have with the experience that you've had for the past couple of years, you will notice something in the writing that you didn't notice before, that, oh, I know what that's like. This is probably something that the author or whoever wrote this episode probably went through something similar that I did, and that inspired what I'm seeing right here in this episode. with this character or this character arc. You know what I mean? Like I always find that really interesting whenever, you know, people grow up and they go back and they look at things that they took in when they were kids. You know, these TV shows, these movies, these books that they read, or comic books, or video games that they played, and they don't see them the same way they did before. I always find that really interesting. All right, where were we?
Ideology, whether or not Naruto will really be able to bring peace to a world that's so filled with hatred and pain and sadness. And to push my point even further, I mean, just look at the character who truly is the embodiment of the underdog and hard work in the series, and that's Rock Lee. Rock Lee, I find him to be a bit of a tragic character when you kind of look at it, because even though for me at first, to this day he still serves as inspiration, Rock Lee didn't beat Gaara. He didn't. But yet the inspiring thing about Rock Lee isn't that hard work will always overcome everything, but it's that hard work will take you so much farther than what you originally could have done. There's lots of different worldviews in terms of the idea of talent, so I won't really get into that because the point of the video isn't really to talk about the ideology of hard work, but it's not to prove the point further that even though that is a theme in Naruto, it is not the main and central theme. Let me give a quick analogy. It might not be the best one, but I'll try to do my best. So imagine if you have an action story, and the action story has components of romance. The main focus of the story is the action, not the romance. But if the audience were to look at this story and give it the main focus for its romantic aspects, then they would clearly be missing the point of the entire series, and they would value it a lot less, because the romance isn't what the author was meant to bring the focus on in the first place. It isn't the object of the author's attention in which he delves the entire character's themes and every action of the character around the romance. He did it around the action, right? Again, it might not be the best analogy, but hopefully you understand the point that I'm trying to get at. I think by looking at Naruto as this underdog story of the zero to hero and looking at as the primary focus, you lose the real beauty of not only Naruto as the main character, but every relationship he has with every antagonist. I think looking at Naruto for what it truly is allowing us to appreciate characters like Sasuke a lot more, like Gaara, like Obito, like Madara, like Pain, even more than we might have already done. When it comes to almost every antagonist in the series of Naruto, their actions is based off of how they cope with the hatred and the pain that this world brings, and every one of them reached a breaking point of some sorts, and it's not just one singular event. If you notice with all these characters, yes, and I'm mainly talking about Obito because of how misunderstood he can be, but it's all really these events that...
Yeah, I do think that Obito is probably one of the most misunderstood characters. I think, I think it was a video that Swakage made that, you know, talked about how, you know, misunderstood Obito actually is. You know, you can still go find that video still on the channel. You can go watch it if you want. But yeah, I think a lot of people don't really get where Obito is coming from. You know, they just see him as, oh, he's just upset he didn't get to be with Rin or whatever. It's like, no, that's not it. Like, you're either you're doing this on purpose, either they're just trolling, you know, they know it's a meme, so they're just playing into it, or they really did misunderstand what Kishimoto was going for when it comes to how he was writing Obito. Now, if you want to argue about the execution, that's something I think we can debate. But if you're just gonna say that Obito just started this, like, if you're gonna do the whole thing of Obito started a war because he didn't get to be with the girl that he liked, I think you're just completely missing the point.
Slowly and surely stack on top of each other until eventually they reach their own breaking point. Now, to make my point even more clear, that doesn't mean I don't have my issues with Naruto, because I do. But at this point, I've seen so many people misinterpret the main point.
I think most people do, genuinely. I think that a lot of people do. You know, even people who, like, you know, really like the series will still acknowledge that, yeah, the series does have some flaws, because, you know, no series is perfect. No series is perfect. Every series has its flaws that you can point out. So I think the difference between, you know, between people who like something but also acknowledge the flaws, and people who don't like something but acknowledge its you know, its accomplishments, or acknowledge its positive aspects, I think they're different than people who just say, no, this thing's bad, or the people who say, no, this thing's just good and there's nothing wrong with it. I think that both extremes are honestly a little bit annoying. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of annoying to deal with people who are like that. I mean, hey, look, at the end of the day, it's your opinion. You're free to have nothing wrong with that. More respect, you know, Completely respect that. But at the end of the day, it's just like you can't really talk with them. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you have a discussion with someone who is like you, who, let's say, or someone like me who likes Naruto, but also acknowledges flaws, and we talk to each other about, yeah, I think this is probably could have been done a little bit better, or I really didn't like this part of the story, or where this character went, and so on and so forth. And I can even talk with someone who doesn't like it, but says that, okay, I don't like it, but I thought this was done really well, or I thought this was done actually really well, and we can talk about that. But if I'm talking with someone who only hates it, then I mean that's really all we can talk. Like there's not really a lot of nuance there. You know what I mean? And same thing with someone who only likes it. It's like, is that it? Like you don't have anything else to say? I mean, come on. We can actually talk about something here, but yeah, again, that's just for me personally. I prefer to talk to someone who I either really like something but also acknowledges that it has a lot of flaws, or really doesn't like something but acknowledges that it actually does a lot of things really well. That's just for me personally. Maybe you're different, which is completely fine. Again, nothing but respect for that. You know what? Let me know what you're like. Like, what kind of person do you prefer to have a debate with? Is it someone whose opinion is a little bit more nuanced, or someone who's just saying, oh yeah, this thing's absolutely amazing, or this thing is just 100% bad? Like which do you prefer? Let me know in the comments.
Point of the series that I felt like this video was a little bit necessary, especially in today's world with the theme and the topic of how we deal with hatred, how we continue the cycle of hatred. It's very easy and disheartening to look at everything that happens in the world and to get really demotivated at the thought of it. And it's even more interesting when then you start looking at the aspect of communities and fandoms. I mean, it's kind of like the whole K-pop thing, right? I'm pretty sure their music's meant to be super uber positive, but yet every time I blink, Too Mad is getting some sort of death threat from a Jim and Jungle Book stan, or whatever the hell his name is. The point is just like with the characters in Naruto, in real life it's difficult to kind of wrap your mind around the hatred that exists in the world. And an even harder concept that I think a lot of the antagonists reach as well is that they're just as responsible for it. As much as I complain and dislike a lot of the things about the anime and manga community, the harsh reality is there's many times I look at myself and I go, wait a minute, you're just as responsible sometimes as the people you dislike. It's a hard truth to accept that you're doing things wrong. And to me, that's why Naruto has become even more special as a character. He has every right in his world to hate everything. He has every right.
Nobody
yet he
would blame
chooses
him.
not to. And in today's world where people feel entitled and empowered through playing the victim, I think it's a strong message that everyone should take for themselves. It's almost scary to see how certain individuals are completely incapable of coexisting with another human being who doesn't agree with them on every single topic. If somebody doesn't agree or see eye to eye with you on a certain worldview, oh well, then they simply must fear and hate you. The ability to have conversation and show love to people who don't think exactly like you and who aren't just like you is something that I see is dying more and more, especially on the internet landscape. So yeah, I think the themes of Naruto apply now even more than they did when the series was originally coming out. So once again, I wanted to set the record straight. Naruto is not a story about an underdog. It never was. The same thing with my hero. Deku's more of a chosen one type of character than he is an underdog. But Naruto specifically is mainly about overcoming hatred, dealing with hatred, and dealing with it in a positive way. As dealing with it in the easy way, which is to seek revenge, to push that pain onto others, will only lead to an unhappy life and inevitable self-destruction. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you are new to the channel, it'd be dope if you liked, commented, and subscribed, and turn on the bell notifications, that way you don't miss some of your favorite anime, manga, or whatever content. As always, this has been the Masked Man. Hope everyone has a blessed rest of the day, and peace.
Yeah, so I think that's the end of the video. So nearly knocked something over there for a second. All right, so yeah, I mean, look, it is true, like what he said right there. I mean, Naruto, like one of its main themes is about overcoming hatred. But well, okay, so first of all, obviously I was a little bit wrong about where he was going with the video, or a lot wrong. The thing is that I think that hard work overcoming talent. I mean, it is also one of the main themes of the Naruto series. It is. I mean, I think it's, not really right to say that it's not. Not that that's what he said, but for me personally, I think it's a little bit difficult to center on what exactly is the main theme of the Naruto, the Naruto story. I think that yes, overcoming hatred is definitely one of them, but I don't know if I would say that that's the main theme of the story. So I don't know. I mean, it's just, look, Naruto, the character Naruto Uzumaki is the main character. He is. I mean, the series is even named after him. And when one of the things about your main character, one of the things that you're trying to say with your main character is that hard work can overcome talent. You can't really blame someone for then thinking that, okay, that's probably the main theme of your story, even if maybe that's not really where you were going with it. So again, like, I can completely understand why someone would see that as the main theme of the story, but I think he definitely made a good case for it not really being the main theme of the story. That really is about overcoming your hatred, whether it's for yourself or for other people, or in the case of Obito, just hatred for this world that you're living in. This world that would allow someone to die at such a young age. I mean, if anything, like, the motivations for Obito are in a way the same motivations for a lot of the people who you could say are the good guys, like Naruto or even Hashirama or Tobirama or Shikamaru or Sakura, any of them. How you could say, well, maybe not Shikamaru or Sakura, but how they want to create a world that doesn't allow, or a world that doesn't have people dying at such a young age. I mean, hell, that was one of the main reasons for why Hashirama and Madara wanted to create the village hidden in the leaves, why they wanted to create Konoha, because they experience a lot of their brothers and sisters who die at such a young age. And Obito, like, that's one of the things that kind of motivates him, because again, Rin's death was just the catalyst. It's not the main driving force for why he wants to actually do what he does, why he wants to go, why he wants to move forward with the Infinite Tsukiyomi and everything, because he has completely given up on this world. He's completely given up. He doesn't want to live in a world that, again, would allow something like that to happen. And I think that that's really interesting how, like, there's all these connections to, between all the characters, even if it's not like a connection by blood or friendship or whatever, but there's just these connections to people because, they all live in this world, and they were all, they all became who they are now because of this world that they're living in. And that's what he's trying to show to Obito, and what he ends up showing to Sasuke is that, they are right that this world is pretty shitty. I mean, it's pretty obvious. But at the same time, if you're denying the world, you're also denying the people who lived in it, which includes the people that you care about. With Sasuke, it was Itachi, and with Obito, it was Rin, and maybe all the other people that he cared about in his life. By denying the world, you're also denying them. And Naruto just didn't want to do that. He didn't want to forget his friends. He didn't want to forget all the people who helped him reach where he is now. And that was sort of his main argument, which is really interesting because that kind of plays into what's going on with the Boruto manga right now. Which I might have a video. I don't know if by the time you guys see this video, or if you're watching this, by the time you watch the video, maybe that video would have already been released. If it is, maybe I'll link it at the end of this video. If it's not, then that means I haven't made the video yet. So I think that's probably a good place to end it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and also do the same thing for the Masked Man. Make sure you go to his video, again, link in the description. Make sure you head on over to his channel, which the link to that will also be in the description, or you can click on the you can click on his handle, which will be available on the title of this video. So you can head on over there and go watch his content and go subscribe to him. Make sure to also leave likes on his videos and comments to help his videos with the algorithm, and do that with all of your content creators that you follow here. All those things will really help their videos out in the algorithm. So with all that said out of the way, thank you so much again, and I hope I'll see you guys for my next video. Bye for now.